Guys, welcome back to Option Clutch. Appreciate your guys' support and let's grow our community together. So anyways, today I'll be talking about the indicator that I personally use called the CPR. To take a look at CPR basically it consists of pivots. Basically pivots. So we'll look at what are pivots in the first place. So pivots are an intraday indicator for trading the market. So unlike moving averages and oscillators, they are static. So they remain at the same point. But if you look at, let's say, a moving average, the moving average moves with the candles in the market. But if you're looking at pivots, you'll find a stagnant pivot. So wherever the market moves here, market moves anywhere, you're getting a static pivot. So the pivots won't change with the market. So the market often sees that, okay, so we have a support here, the market is going up, we have resistance on top. So according to that, the market participants trade. So if you're looking at the pivot formula, we have actually 3 pivots, but I use R4 also. So I use R4 and S4. So we have your R4, we have your R3, we have your R2, we have your R1. Then we have a central pivot. Then we have your S1, S2, S3, S4. So R is basically for your resistance. So you have 4 resistance lines on a day. And you have your central pivot. And then you have again 4 supports in a day. So if you're looking at the example, it looks like this. So we have your R4, R3, R2, R1. Then we have your central pivot. Then we have your S1, S2, S3, S4. And I don't use S5. I use till S4. So you can see the next day also we have your R3, R2, R1, central pivot, S1, S2, S3. So alone you cannot trade pivots. So you need another indicator, that is the CPR. So what is the CPR? So CPR is also known as the central pivot range. So we have 3 lines. So this is the middle pivot, or called the central pivot. So if we take a look over here, this is your central pivot line. So this is your central pivot line. This line is called your central pivot line, which is the most important. It is the most important line on the chart. It's a very important line. So that's called the central pivot. Then we have actually 2 more lines, which is on the top and it's on the bottom. So that is called the top pivot, and we have your bottom pivot. So if you're looking at the CPR formula, the top pivot, this is the formula, the central pivot, this is the formula, and the bottom pivot, this is your formula. So if you see, the market often respects the pivot, and this is the most important range in your chart. So you'll have 3 lines. So with this, which is your central pivot, then you have your top pivot and you have your bottom pivot. Again, middle pivot, central pivot, bottom pivot, and top pivot. Again we have your central pivot, then we have your top pivot, and we have your bottom pivot. So if you see why we use CPR, it's not simply that we're using CPR. CPR works for a reason. So CPR is a leading indicator. So what do I mean by leading indicator is, so if we take a look at Nifty chart, so we're looking at Nifty chart. So you can see that we have your RSI that is here, and we have your MACD. Okay, these are the 2 most commonly used indicators in the market. So if I take a look at MACD is giving me a buy signal. Okay, and market is going up, so definitely we have to go and buy. Okay, market is closed inside the previous day's range, so good stop loss hunting has taken place. So what we can do, we can go long, but no, we cannot go long, because you can see that the market has come to the CPR and it did not break the CPR, it reversed. So if it had gone long anywhere, market reversed and it would have hit your stop loss. If it had kept a stop loss here also, a deep stop loss also, market would have hit. Expecting an up move, that did not happen. Why it did not happen is because we had a CPR resistance on top. We had a CPR resistance here. So market was taking a resistance and it could not go up. So it finally fell down. But if you're looking at the RSI, it is a good buy signal that is happening, because it is over 50 and 60. So good buy signal is happening. Then MACD is giving you a good buy signal. So if it had gone long, market reversed and your stop loss hit. So that is why CPR most of the time is a leading indicator. So you can see that we are looking at CPR, market is coming to the CPR and it rejected and it fell down. So most of the time, unless the market breaks out, it's not bullish, or the market breaks down, it is not bearish. So market moves on price action, and CPR often guides the market condition with various factors. So you can see here also that we had a day's high resistance which broke, but still will not go long. So once the top CPR is broken, now you can see market extremely bullish, ended up at the day's high. So the market went down because we had a descending CPR. So I'll talk more about descending CPR, inside CPR, inside value CPR, outside value CPR in my next video. So but today we are just talking about the basics of CPR. So you can see that once market broke the top CPR, we got an up move. Okay, same thing here. So once market broke the bottom CPR, we got a good down move. So if we take a look at this example again here, once market broke the bottom CPR, we got a good down move. So this does not always happen. So specific price action with the CPR and market conditions, you can get a good down move and you can catch this down move till here. So I'll talk more about that in my webinar. So guys, I am starting a webinar and a one-on-one coaching which will help you guys understand the market. So webinar is for general. One-on-one coaching, I'll go into great depths to teach the different market conditions. So I'll be releasing both of this very soon, so stay tuned for that. So again, other indicators such as RSI, MACD, moving average often tell what the market has done, and thus is a lagging indicator. So if you look on this day, so market gap down. So market gap down past we had 4 supports, market gap down. So now market is saying it is an oversold signal. Let's go and buy. So let's say you would have bought this here. Yes, you got an up move, but we are not looking for small up moves. So if you're entering on this candle, so we're waiting for a good risk to reward. So we're ideally trying to book profit at the day's high. But what happened? The market reversed and it fell down. But if you look at the CPR, we had a descending CPR. Plus we had a narrow CPR. So it was a trending day. So market was pushing down and finally ended up at the day's low. So had you not known that the CPR was descending and we had a narrow CPR, you would have gone long. So any pullback, if you would have shorted keeping day's high as a stop loss, you would have had an amazing move towards the downside. So CPR will tell you that okay, today market is a little bit negative, market is gapping down, plus we have a narrow CPR, so look for shorting opportunities. RSI would have told you it's an oversold, let's go and buy because this is value. And MACD, we had a MACD divergence, so you'd have gone and bought this market. What happened? The market reversed and it ended up at the day's low. So the CPR helped you that day to tell you okay, the market was negative and could be a trending day. Though the market gapped down, could still be a trending day. So market closed at the day's low. So no other indicator such as MACD or RSI or any moving average can give you this kind of precision that tells you that okay, market more chance of trending, okay, can end at day's low and is bearish if it gaps down or if it opens below the CPR. So I don't think that any other indicator can tell you that. So that is why we use CPR, because CPR is a very powerful indicator and prices often test the CPR. What I mean by price often tests the CPR, you can see here, though the market gapped up, it came to test the CPR and we got an up move. Okay, so market opened, tested the CPR, we got a rejection, again tested CPR, got a rejection, again tested CPR. So market often comes to test the CPR. So you can see here that the market gapped down and it tested the CPR and we got a rejection, and look at the day. So we got a huge down move that day. So if we go and put the CPR in chart, we can see that market often comes just to test the CPR and then we get a bounce. Again came, tested the CPR, we got a bounce. Okay, broke the CPR, then we got a pullback and then ended up at the day's low. Again broke the CPR and it failed. Again broke the CPR and it failed. So market often, so we'll look at this day where market gapped up. Okay, at the end of the day it came to test the CPR. So this is what I mean by price often comes back to test the CPR here also. So you can see market opened, went down, came and tested the CPR. So you can devise a strategy also on that, because market often tests the CPR, devise a strategy. So I feel that CPR is one of the best indicators for trading. For trading especially, one of the best indicators is the CPR. So you can see market often comes, tries to test, bounce, tries to test. So again, market came, tested the top CPR, bounced, and then finally we got a test of the middle and bottom CPR and broke and fell down. So here also we got market trying to go down, but it came up just to almost test the CPR, failed, again came to test the CPR. So the best time frame I would use CPR on is 5 minutes. 5 minutes is the best time frame to use the CPR. So this is my chart on a normal day. So where I have the CPR which tells me, okay, today the market could be trending. So what happened? We got though it was not full trending, but we got a nice trend establishing. So you can see here where the market had a wide CPR and the price did not move. It tried to break down, but again it closed back into the range because we had a wide CPR. So in my next video, I'll be talking about types of CPR and market conditions along with CPR. So I guess you guys have an understanding of the CPR. So next video we'll be talking about types of CPR. So we have like your outside value CPR, then we have inside value CPR, then we have our descending, ascending CPR. So we'll be talking about that and the market conditions along with the CPR. So let's say it is wide CPR, so there will be a different market condition. So there is a different type of trade that day or different type of trade that day. So we'll be talking about that in our next video. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.